start this. And here we go. Good morning, Columbus, and welcome to another edition of From Our House to Your Home, the Remodeler Showcase. My name is Marty Reed. I'm your host, and the show is brought to you by Frog Hauling. If you need anything hauled from your house, you want to get rid of stuff in the garage, the basement, the yard, whatever it is, think of Frog Hauling. And if you are a remodeling contractor, because we specialize in working with remodeling contractors, and we work with roofers and general contractors too. And only the best product will do for your customer, think of Frog Hauling. We carry 5 different sizes of containers so that we fit the container to the job you have, and you're not paying for more container than you need. Does that sound good, Todd?
That's very good. Yes. We have them on our sites as well.
Yeah, thank you. I want to start the show today by saying, first of all, thanks to everyone who listens to the show. We appreciate it, and we don't say that enough. And I want to also say thank you to all the guests that have come on this show and tolerated me over the last 5 years. But it's fun. It's fun. We try to have fun on the show. So today we have on our show Todd Schmidt. And he's the owner of Renovations Unlimited, and we have Kayla Allen, who claims that Todd works for her.
Which is true.
She's also with Renovations Unlimited. She's kind of a jack of all trades, keeps you straight, right?
Absolutely.
We need one of those. All of us do. I own my car. I need the person who keeps me straight.
A true office manager.
There you go. And Todd has been on the show before. If you've listened to the show, you may recognize his name, but I will tell you that he is absolutely one of the premier remodelers in Columbus, Ohio. I'll offer you this proof by saying just Google Renovations Unlimited, and you've got a little tab on your website that says awards, certifications, and it's kind of a proof source. And if you click on that, you'll see that there's not enough room for all the awards that your firm has. But it's really impressive, and it goes back year after year after year. The projects that you have that have won all these awards, and more importantly, all the certifications that you have. The next thing I want to say, this is a pretty good ego build for you today.
It is.
I'm teasing you. Todd was the former president of the National Association of Remodelers, the Columbus chapter here in Columbus. Typically about 250, somewhere in there, member companies. And Todd ran the organization as the president, along with the executive director, Sherry Bates, for a 2-year period, and you did a heck of a job. More importantly, it shows your commitment to the remodeling industry and how much you believe in the professionalism of the industry. So
Thank you, Marty. You get a lot more back than you put into it, trust me.
I want to thank you. So today we're going to talk about your firm. Is that okay?
That's great. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to start out today, and I never do this. I never give any hint of what date the show is on, but today we have to do that because there was a fantastic article, and we're going to talk about this article today because it's really important and relevant to the market today, in the Columbus Dispatch, in which you were quoted.
Correct.
As a matter of fact, in that article, there were 4 NARI contractors that were quoted, and they wanted to know what's the marketplace like today. So I'm going to let you kind of tell the audience, because people, the days, I'm going to preface this by saying the day of calling and saying, I need to remodel my kitchen because my son's graduating and we want it done in 2 weeks, are over, right?
Unfortunately, they are, yes.
And it's not because we don't want the work.
Correct.
It's the state of the marketplace. And there's all kind of quotes. If you get the Dispatch, you can read the article, or go online. You can always read the articles. Tell them a little bit about the marketplace today and what they're going to encounter when they contact a truly good remodeling firm like yours.
Thank you, Marty. Yeah, unfortunately, right now the market is just there's way more demand than there is supply. We're running into we're using more tile setters than we've used in the past, and The problem for us is you have to have qualified people. We just can't send anybody out to set your tile or anybody out to remodel your kitchen. As we've always done, we match our superintendent or project manager with your project, and there's only so many hours in a day and so many of those going on. What we've done differently right now to try and help with the demand is client calls in, we'll go meet with them. Instead of it being, typically the same week, now you're going to be, 3-4 weeks out for an appointment to get scheduled in. We are spending more time up front before we come out to start your project. So before you start seeing cabinets ripped out and drywall hung, you're seeing a lot more planning time now. We're going to work through your selections, and we're going to make all your selections in advance. We want to get everything as set as we can, everything as confirmed as we can, and then when we come out to work, try and be as efficient as we can for you. So it's basically, you have to be patient, you have to be prepared to plan more, and the process itself still goes very good once we get there.
Okay, I want to touch on that because your boss is here, Kayla.
That's right.
And that's kind of the role that she's assumed. And that goes along with when we talk about, and you and I have talked about this, your design build process, how you work with customers. In other words, I'm the guy that I kid all the time, but it is true. When you sit down, I could call you, wait the 4 weeks, and then you would come to my kitchen and you'd go, well, what are you trying to do? What do you want to do? And I'd look at you.
Right.
Okay.
And that's where we start, the design.
So, Kayla, why don't you tell the folks, I guess what we're saying is, people have to be patient now, because there's not a quality remodeler that I talk to that says, oh, we're already planning for next year at this time.
Correct.
It's August, September. We can't even start the project till then. And how do you work? What do you try to accomplish? Because people, I understand it, they get frustrated. It's when my business simple thing, I go, what day would you like the container? Monday. Well, I can't do it till Tuesday. Oh no, I need, you know how that goes. So how do you work with them? I mean, what's new? You've kind of gone through this progression with the firm. Tell us a little bit.
Just like Todd said, it's insanely busy right now. So, I mean, we're filtering in 10 to 20 calls a week of people that just want us to come out and look at a project. And, we're, like you said, 4 to 5 weeks out to come look. So what I'm trying to do more is to stay more in contact with these people that we're going out to look at their projects so they don't feel forgotten or like we don't want to do their job. If it was up to Todd, we'd touch every single person's project that calls in.
Sure.
So we want to make sure that they feel important to us. So I like to work with the clients a lot ahead of time before we go in to demolition. Once we find out we're moving forward with this, I want to be there to help you get your selections in. What kind of tile are you looking at? What kind of granite? So we can get all of that ready. So when we come in and rip everything out, the project moves that much smoother. And
probably faster.
Yeah, much faster. And that time that you're waiting for us to show up at your door, we're still building a relationship with each other.
Well, I think it makes sense because, like I said earlier, it's just there's a change in the market.
Absolutely.
And that marketplace is you, by making a call, are not going to get what you want. And it's not because you don't want to work with them. I mean, I know as long as you've been in business, and this has to be really painful. You're getting calls from existing customers.
That's what we want, though.
Yeah. But you have to tell them, I still love you, but we gotta wait a while, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Yeah. So, I thought it was important to talk a little bit about that, so to speak. Hear it from the horse's mouth. And I have a sideline to this. You know what I tell people when they ask me?
What's that, Marty?
I go, if the guy shows up at your door in 2 days or the next week, you might want to question who that is that's showing up. Because I happen to know the good ones aren't showing up. They don't have the time, right?
That's right. You got to keep in mind, too, with the additional volume, we're design, build, we full service our clients. So we're out on the job site, too. So instead of me having 4 or 5 hours a day at my desk, I'm lucky to have an hour.
Yeah.
And that's what I have to try and filter through emails, phone calls, and stuff, because the rest of the time I'm out at your job site with my clients and working through the details.
Well, let's kind of revisit your firm. Tell the folks a little bit about the kind of projects that you do, which is just about everything.
It's just about it. Is truly Renovations Unlimited. There's very little that we don't do. We are design, build, full service, and we put the emphasis on the service part of it. We've been in business since '93. I've been bending nails since '78, so we have a little bit of experience under our belt. We do have project managers, which are going to be the superintendents at your house, are the ones that are going to be the first ones there in the morning, unlock, get things going. They're going to be doing the framing, the trim, different carpentry type aspects, as well as the coordination of the mechanicals.
Okay. One of the things that you and I have talked about in the past is, let's expand a little bit on the design build process, because that's different for every firm.
Correct.
One of the things that you do that I think is very good is your communication while the project's going on. But we'll start with the beginning, the design.
Okay.
Okay?
Very good.
So in other words, here's Marty. I'm going to feed you. Okay. I look at you with this, like my wife just hit me upside the head with a baseball bat, and I'm the guy like the old Bill Cosby. I don't know. Remember he had that, the kid, he said the kids, why'd you do that? I don't know. I have no eye for anything, okay? So you walk into my house and I tell you I want a kitchen. How do you start working with me?
What are your goals and what are your needs? And
Okay.
your need might be to make sure that your wife's happy. Your wife's need might be to have a two-person kitchen with a 6-burner stove. It might be to have a more efficient or more seating area, or that kitchen interact with the rest of the house. So we start off with your goals, and we go back to the goals every time before we come back out to you with for solutions.
Okay, so now that we figure that out, the process is we somehow have to get to a budget, so
Correct.
to speak, right?
Absolutely.
And the design.
The
And I
budget
think
should be discussed at the very first meeting. It's not a secret. You have to have some general sense of where you want to keep budget-wise, so we don't over-design for your budget. So, yeah.
and then you put together the design,
Correct.
right?
That's correct.
Do you work with the customer doing that, or I mean, is it you take all the feedback, go and come up with a design or two? How does that work?
Yeah, what we'll do is, again, we start off with your needs and what are your goals, and from there we will go back and we'll put together a design contract for you, which will illustrate what all we're going to do for the fee. Those are your drawings. We don't keep those drawings; those are yours. As far as the design, we would come back typically with 2-3 different solutions to your needs, and we'll review those with you. A lot of times it will be a portion of one design, a portion of another. We kind of marriage those together into the final outcome.
And then how do you, from that stage, you've got the budget, you got the design, now you got to get the product, right?
That's correct.
Because as you said,
in-
you want the product in before you actually start construction, or as much of it as you can get.
Correct. We kind of work in steps. There initially is your preliminary design, which is not your detailed construction drawings, but we'll give everything a size and shape. From there, you go into preliminary budgets. We're going to say, okay, this is going to be about X number of dollars. From there, we refine the design, and then we get real numbers. We come out with typically bring it with the mechanicals as needed. If we have a technical structural condition, we might bring the structural engineer out. If it's a mechanical issue where we need to consult the HVAC contractor or something, but we'll then get to detailed pricing so you know for sure this scope of work will cost this much money. And then from there we go into the permit drawings, the permits, the selection process. We want to confirm, the finish on the cabinets, the edges, the hardware, the countertops, everything.
Okay, so now the most important part. I learned this from you. I never thought about it. I didn't give it that much thought, really, but you mentioned earlier in this interview you're a service firm. That's what you pride
correct.
yourself on.
Absolutely.
And I think you demonstrate that, because I want you to tell the folks, because I think this is extremely important, because it means I don't have to answer a question from my wife every night. Okay.
All right.
Communication.
Number one.
How you communicate with your, you just, you've got projects that last 3 months, 6 months. How do you keep the customer informed, happy, not wondering, that kind of thing?
Definitely communication. The way we set up, again, we do have project managers for our projects. If you're heading out to work in the morning and you want to let the project manager know that you changed the color in the bedroom, he'll take care of that. He'll also let me know. If you shoot me an email that night before you want to change the color, again, I'll let the superintendent know. So from our perspective, our communication works very well within our organization. You don't have to worry about that. I tell both parties, as long as you let one of us know, we keep each other informed.
Now, do you give them something in writing, like Excel spreadsheet every week?
We have a project, we call it our Bible. It's our
Okay.
project manual, and it'll have all the detailed with the specifications. It has all the selections recap that has all the pertinent documents and stuff that you need. It's also in a format such that it works for me, it works for you, it also works for the project manager.
Okay. I think I'm going to reiterate. I think that is extremely important. The communication. I've been through in a former, years ago, where my kids were little and I had to have some remodeling done, and I can remember coming home one night and found out I no longer had a stove. And they didn't even bother to plug in the refrigerator when they moved in. And I went, there's got to be a better way than this, because I had 3 little boys at that time, and I was like, okay, I guess we're going out to eat, Then you get on the phone, hey, do you know when we might have our stove back, That's not good.
That's not good.
Yeah, and I can assure you that will not happen with Todd, folks.
Thank you.
Because I know how he communicates with his customers. Okay, we're going to take a short break here, and then we're going to get back with Todd, and we're going to talk a little bit about, I think this is important. Usually I go into this product segment. We'll do a little bit on products, what's hot. Everybody wants to know that. But I want you to talk, because you have a unique perspective, at being the former president of NARI, about what you should look for in a contractor. What do you think is important in selecting a contractor? Whether it's you or somebody else. How's that?
As long as it's NARI, that's all that matters.
Okay, so we'll be right back. Yeah, I think that's probably a good thing, because you're the voice of...
Okay.
Okay, we're still on that little thing, so...
Yeah, we got about 10,
I want you to
10
behave,
minutes.
because this is going out all over the...
She's doing fine.
Thank you.
We got about 10 minutes
Yeah.
left in this.
You ready? Yeah, so it'll
the
go
last
quick.
segment. So, yep, it'll go fast.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
Okay, here we go.
Welcome back, everyone. Once again, we are talking with Todd Schmidt, who's the owner of Renovations Unlimited. And I was remiss, I didn't do this in the first segment. You can Google Renovations Unlimited, go look at the website, and you have everything. You've got pictures by rooms, you've got a great gallery that shows your work. And what you really need to look at is, if you're looking for a true professional, look at the certifications tab in the awards, because it's mind-boggling, all the awards that your firm has won. And like I said, I usually like to talk a little bit about product. We'll get to that, but since I have you here, and since you are the former president of the Columbus chapter of NARI, just briefly kind of tell folks, if they're looking for a contractor, what in your mind are the important things they ought to be addressing? What should they be looking for?
Probably the number one thing is you find somebody that's qualified for the type of project you have. I've said this before, you have a neighbor that had a deck built, it's the best looking deck you've ever seen, great service, great product, and you want a kitchen done. Has that contractor done a kitchen before?
May not translate.
So maybe
okay.
not. So you want to make sure you've got a good skill set that matches up. We do that internally ourselves. If you're coming to me with a bathroom or a kitchen or an addition, we have different project managers that excel in different areas, and we want to match the skill set to the project.
Okay.
Second thing you want to do is I would use a resource such as NARI, where you can call in and say, I've got this type of project in this general area, and they will refer you to a couple that you can talk to, interview. And then the most important thing is, don't get overly focused on the price. Get focused on the project and relationship. You are going to be working with this contractor from the time you start until you're finished, and you want good communication. You want good relationship there, and the project get done.
Yeah, because they're going to be living with you, and as I said earlier, Chase, they'll go and get the cat who ran out the back door.
That's correct.
For a good contractor. Well, and one of the things I think, I kind of, right or wrong, I tier remodelers. I put them into categories. I go, if you want it done right, you want it designed uniquely, you want it beautiful, you want a warranty, you want people you're going to be happy working with, that's kind of my tier one. And one of the things that I know in tier one that holds true, and I'm going to address your budget point, they're all about the same price.
That's correct.
In other words, there's the same markup, because they're all it's a competitive industry. All industries are. When you when you get somebody that says, well, I can do that and I can do it for 40% less, that is a red flag.
It is, and you'll be doing good if you only got 40% less.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, Todd and I agree on that. The other thing you said is you can call NARI. Another thing you can do is just go to the NARI website, and all of the contractors and members of NARI are listed on that website, and they're even listed, you can go in by category and say, kitchen, show me all the remodelers that specialize in kitchens, and all of them have, most of them anyways, have a link to their website. So you can go to the website, and if they're worth their salt, they're going to have a website like yours. It's going to show gazillion past projects. It's going to give your qualifications, how to contact you, so on and so forth, right?
Correct.
Okay. And once again, it's Renovations Unlimited.
Yes, sir.
And I'm allowed to give you a seal of approval.
Thanks, Marty. Appreciate that.
Okay, so now we're going to go to the latest and greatest. You know, the fun, people always ask me about this. I learned something new that I didn't know. I was talking to a remodeler, and we're not going to talk about this, but I heard that black windows actually are being used in some projects now.
They are, absolutely. Yes.
It's amazing to me.
Yeah.
I didn't even know they existed. So you tell us, what do you see in the marketplace as some of the products that people are using, or the latest and greatest, so to speak?
Yeah, like you mentioned, they do have the black windows is very popular right now. They also have the steel gray, which is in that same iron tone family. It's not quite as bold as the black, but it's a good transition. The mini splits are a big growing feature right now. You've got for example, the project we did on the tour, the original system didn't quite really cool the second floor properly. So instead of replacing the entire system, we supplemented it with a mini split. Instead of the typical box that mounts to the wall, it's a recessed, lot cleaner look.
What is a mini split?
It's a small heat pump system is what it is. And it will heat and cool a room. If you have a porch you convert it, or if you have a particular suite or the bedroom suite, you want to keep a certain temperature versus the rest of the house, it gives you that capability. It's a more advanced zoning system to where you can zone that particular area for your own temperature needs.
I wish I had that in my last house. I always had the downstairs, was cool, and my bedroom was always hot.
There you go.
And I could use a system like that.
That's correct.
Beautiful, just to do that room.
Correct. The other thing we're seeing is tile on the bathroom walls instead of just being a wainscot. Actual tile being all the way to the ceiling on, in some cases, all the walls. It's a different look. So more tile.
Kind of like, it looks like an old, what do we call it, the shower room in a high school?
There you go.
Yeah, the athletic room.
Yeah. A little bit nicer detail though.
Yeah, okay. And one of the things I understand is, that was really popular was subway tile kind of for backsplashes, but now as I understand it, there's subway tile with texture or design. Am I saying that right?
There is, absolutely. And then also larger tiles where you don't have as much grout. We're seeing subway tiles that are like a 5x8, 6x12, a lot larger than your typical 3x5.
And here's another product. I don't know if you had clients who wanted this, but I've seen it, and it kind of blew me away. The new vinyl flooring. The vinyl strips that look like wood and that. Have you run into that?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what you're referring to. They do have a true linoleum, which is a linseed oil base, and you can do inlays. There's different patterns there. But, yeah, we've been doing those as well.
Okay, and what about countertops? I hear that one of the things that's happening is, granite was the old standby. Still is. Still is.
Still a number one value when it comes to those countertops, yeah.
But if people are doing a lot of quartz now?
They are. Yeah, a lot of quartzite material, which is kind of in between your composites and your granites. It is a little bit harder than your marble, but not quite as durable as the granite. It's a great look. A lot of them are going to the whites and the grays opposed to the darker colors.
Okay.
It's more available in the quartzite.
Okay. What about colors?
Definitely the light colors. A lot of the whites, ones that look like marbles. The grays are popular.
So if when one of the things that seems to me to be popular is, people are using gray paint on the walls, but I also know, it seems to me we're in a little bit of a transition period, and we got to wrap up really quick here. Painted cabinets.
Oh yeah, painted
All
any
different
canvas or-
colors though now.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're starting to see more vivid colors. You're still seeing a lot of times the islands will be a natural wood opposed to painted to match the rest of the kitchen.
Okay, well, I appreciate you being on the show. Folks, I can't say enough about Renovations Unlimited and Todd Schmidt and his staff. Fantastic people. Anybody in town that's a remodeler, they know how great his firm is and the quality of his work. So all you have to do is go Google Renovations Unlimited, and you will be able to go to the website, look at all the awards he's won. I've said it, I don't know how many times today, but it's important. And projects, how to contact you, that sort of thing, right?
That's right. Thank you very much, Marty.
Well, I want to thank you, and thank you, Kayla, for
Thanks,
being on
Marty.
the show. We tease Kayla all the time, folks. That's okay.
She can take it.
She can take it, believe me.
And dish it out.
Yeah, dish it out. And I want to leave you with this thought. I want you to think today about going out and find someone that you could bring a smile to their face, make them laugh, make them happy. And we'll see you next week. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. You did great.